Hello, we're doing the penny oxidation experiment today. So before we get started, I'll kind of tell a little bit about what's about to happen. Where we have some vinegar, we have water, and we have salt. I also picked two rather rusty, kind of dirty pennies right here from our little coin collection. And what we're gonna do is just put it all together, and it's gonna cause the pennies to have, or the rust to sort of reverse. It'll have a reverse effect on rusting per se. So the rust will come off, the pennies will be shiny, and I already have this experiment going because it takes a couple of minutes for the rust to come off. So I already have two pennies sitting in some apple cider vinegar and water and salt, and they're on their way to getting clean, but I'll put everything together anyway just so you can see the process, and then that'll be our end product that we can look at. Maybe the pennies that we use in this experiment will also start to clean themselves before we're done, so we can check on that as well. So the mixture of the salt and the vinegar create a little bit of hydrochloric acid, which dissolves the copper oxide. That's what causes the rust to come off. It causes that layer to get released from the penny. It forms the blue copper ion, which is soluble in water, and water is also produced in this reaction. So it's soluble in that water. We also have water in the reactor, in this tub as well, that it can be soluble in as well. So, all right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna just put a little bit of water in this tub real quick. Okay, so a little bit of water in here, and then it calls for about a quarter cup of vinegar. So I got my vinegar over here. I'll just pour it. It's kind of a bigger tub. Just pour it in there. Perfect. Okay, and then it's about a teaspoon of salt. So this is a half teaspoon right here that I have. I'll pour that in there. 2 of those to make 1. And stir to kind of dissolve the salt. We use a pretty chunky salt, so it takes a little bit to dissolve. Okay, so we have our solution here. We have our 2 dirty pennies, and we're gonna drop them in there and allow the reaction to happen. I'll check on those in a minute, but we can start looking at these other pennies, which were just about as dirty as the ones that I just dropped in the solution we just made. So I'll go ahead and pick them out. I got a paper towel I can put them on for them to dry. It leaves like a streak on the bottom of the tub. I wonder if that is the copper oxide, the soluble copper oxide. Okay. So these were both just about as dirty as the ones that I showed you. They had that dark brown material on them. But here's one of them. Let me see if I can get it focused. It's a little bit difficult. Let's see if I can do that. It's a little bit better. I'll move my phone, maybe that will be easier. So there's the pennies. They're pretty shiny if you can't see them that well. So it worked. We can already kind of see an improvement on the other pennies. One is going a little bit faster than the other, I think because it was just a little less rusty than the other one. So success with the first 2. Let's go ahead and just pull out the other ones and see what we got. One for sure from this one. Let me dry it off. It's definitely shinier. You can kind of see the reflection off of it now. So that's pretty cool. The other one is kind of working its way there. I can see spots on it. Probably just leave it in there after this experiment, just to keep it clean. So I don't know if you can see that as well. It's a little bit more shiny, but I think the reaction is just taking a little bit longer because it was a little bit darker than the other one. But if you can, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like chunks of shiny, and then there's chunks of the brown still. So it's kind of making its way there. But I'll toss it back in there. Finish that cleaning with them. But again, it's that salt and vinegar that is mixed and creates that hydrochloric acid, which dissolves the copper oxide. So forms that blue copper ion, which is soluble in water. And there you go, you got clean pennies.